Welcome to Against All Oddities, the podcast about three brothers coming to terms with the oddly true and the truthfully odd. Our annual tradition returns, where we celebrate joy, goodwill, and the art of the curse. This year is extra special, as we finally get an update and conclusion to one of our earliest Christmas stories, Mary the Ghost, first discussed back in 2022. Then kicks things off by unpacking the unsettling world of cursed furniture, proving once again that the real danger of the holiday season isn't a drunk uncle, it's antiques. Nate reminds us of Mary Lewyd, while Chris dives into the infamous Bucksport, Maine grave, the Martyr of Greenwood Cemetery, and how to dig up the bones of your ancestors to help stop that run of bad luck. So grab a drink, dim the lights, and settle in, because nothing says Christmas like generational doom. This is Against All Oddities.
Hey. Merry Christmas. It's our, third to fifth Christmas episode.
It's our fourth.
It's our fourth Christmas. It's the Christmas season, which also means it's nog season. And if you haven't made any nog yet, we have a video on how to make nog. It's on our YouTube page. If you just search Against All Oddities, Wizard Nog is probably going to be one of the first hits. I can't imagine there's more than one. So we have some new Christmas stuff and an update on an old Christmas.
We're bringing it back to 2020.
Bringing it back. I'm youngest brother Tim.
Middle brother Chris.
Nate.
All right, so we could do brief updates, and then we're going to start with Nate in our Christmas update. So, Chris, what have you done fun since we last recorded?
Well, our updates have to be fun. I don't do anything that's fun. That's the problem. I'm not fun anymore.
You say that, so you say that every time, but we went hunting together a couple weeks ago.
That's true, and we'll
we killed nothing.
In a week.
But it was
but it was fun.
It was a nice day, actually. Yeah, we stared at a creek for about 3 hours, and Chris brought a 22, and we plinked a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, that's not what we were hunting with, but we were plinking. We were plinking.
That's
you were shooting a 22 and no deers walked up, or you're shooting the 22?
That was after we gave up.
They'll be here. Yeah, we even walked the property, and Chris saw one run away.
I saw a butt. I saw a deer butt for half a second.
Seeing a deer butt is phase one, and then next time we'll get it. So it'll be fine. Yeah, me and Chris are going to go again in a couple of weeks when it's going to be drastically colder than it was on our balmy 60 degrees, partially sunny day where we were just sitting in the woods.
Man. Anyway, I guess that's an update. I did that. I drove 2,000 miles for Thanksgiving. 1,000 there, 1,000 back, and I'm about to do it again next week. That's all I got. I've been taking a lot of fiber. That's my big update. And I don't know, man. It's fixing something.
How many? Well, if it works, yeah. But how many hot dogs do you eat on the road, or corn dogs? Do you still stop at Love's?
I only stop at Love's, which is the best. I mean, obviously Buc-ee's is better, but the route that we drive there's only like 3 Buc-ee's, and they're a little bit inconveniently placed. And once you get north of Alabama, there's no Buc-ee's. So Love's
we have one in
go.
Virginia now, but you won't pass it.
That's what I mean. I'm not passing any.
What do you eat? What do you eat at a Love's?
Okay, so the Love's corn dogs are really good. Not the jalapeno corn dogs. I'm too old for the picante. The picante flavor is a little too much for me in my old age. So classic double corn dog, or
you have to get the corn dog under the red light or the hot light in that little paper shit basket it comes in.
It's great. And,
classy.
That's my number one. We eat a curious amount of Arby's, which I've never eaten in my life, but recently I was like,
it's not bad. The reputation's worse than the food.
Or like Rowan will eat it, and that's kind of like half the battle.
I eat the
so.
turkey gyro. The closest place to our work is an Arby's, and I get the turkey gyro, or used to. Now that I'm invincible, I can explain that on my.
All right, so yeah,
update.
Nate, why are you invincible? Let's just talk about
And
that.
why is your pee blue?
No, I'm not taking methylene blue.
Methylene
but
blue's sketchy. But,
Well,
I mean, we can
I
talk
want-
about that.
I will give you each, like I'll order some online, and you can take it and tell us if your blood clears up or something. But the so anyway, my cholesterol was a little high. I went to the doctor the first time in 30 years, I think, that I got a physical, and my total cholesterol number was 355. A little high.
I was expecting thousands.
A little high.
Just to remind anybody listening, Nate makes spam fries, and his last
I
update
used
said
to
his
make them.
doctor recommended against the spam fries. But now, does it matter? Like it didn't
No,
affect
I don't
you?
think so. He said I'm good to go because I got the was it the calcium test?
You had a coronary CT scan.
Yeah,
And
they
they-
stick you in the machine. Yeah,
They objectively measure how much calcium is on your coronary arteries. It can also show any blockages or starting to get blockages and stuff. And a score of 0,
hey,
It's good.
it's the best. It's the best you can get. A
Yeah,
score of
it's-
anything above 0 is bad, and you scored a 0. And I think you're allowed up to like a decent number, like 20s or 30s. And
I'm basically it's greasy enough it can't stick. You know, I keep it like nice
Nothing
and
can
fluid.
stick.
I keep my lipids flowing smooth.
You know how eggs used to be bad for you. So did spam. It's
Yeah,
the
are you
only way
saying
to
if you're
lubricate the heart.
Yeah,
if your blood to grease ratio like gets too far off, that it just starts getting
Yeah.
too tacky.
I will say I've gained since finding out that I'm invincible, at least cholesterol wise. I have gained at least 6 pounds because I was like, I was eating pretty good, and then now I'm like, well, now I get to eat every night. I eat something, and I'm traveling, right? Like so, so I
Let me
can.
sell you on some fiber supplements because I'll tell you, you'll lose 6 pounds.
Well, it depends on the Arby's sandwich you eat, Chris, because every once in a while there's an Arby's sandwich that will clear you out. But I tried like all the fast foods tonight. I ate way too much pizza. Oh man, but the cheese is so good. I miss cheese. So anyway, that's my personal update, and I could give you Mary's update, or you want to wait on
Not
that?
yet.
No,
Not
we
yet.
can do a
Yeah.
personal update.
Okay.
And then we'll do that's a
Yeah,
Christmas update.
That's all.
Yeah,
that's
that's a
all
big
I
one.
need for that's my update.
Nate also introduced me that some of the herbal or naturalist or holistic healers are using methylene blue, and you can buy that as a gummy, and which is
Or drops.
it's crazy because I've only owned methylene blue in a hospital setting, which goes on the sickest of the sick. And they'll hang a bag of it, and yes, it's blue, but if you're super septic or if you have very specific respiratory issues or they have to treat, like, I don't use it a lot because it's not in the cardio. It's like hemoglobinemia or something. But
It's aquarium cleaner, right?
Yes, you clean aquariums with it, but it crystallizes the water immediately if you put a drop in it. And then I guess Joe Rogan and a lot of the these
Monroe
other guys, yeah, all of her couple Monroe
Which I
people talking
dubbed
about
the Monrogan crowd.
it. Monroe. But it's like, hey, if it clears, imagine what it will do inside your body if it does such a good job cleaning up that aquarium.
Yeah,
It gets
like
all
a
red.
toilet
Basically-
bowl is a solid
basically
blue
eat
clean.
aquariums.
2,000 flushes of methylene blue.
Do you remember my cat Diesel?
Yes.
For a while, I had the blue thing in the toilet because I thought I didn't have to clean the toilet or something if it was dark blue or whatever. And so I'd put one in the back, and then I'd look over, and Diesel was big enough that he would drink out of the toilets. Like he'd get on his hind legs and put his front
Look at our
paws
Diesel.
over there.
He wondered
look like
why he had
Morris the cat.
seizures.
Right, and he was so big. Yeah, he had seizures. Maybe the blue helped.
He had
it,
seizures
but
before the blue
he
stuff.
was big enough that he was on his hind legs, leaning into the toilet, and he could drink
so
the water. He was a big cat. And I
Everyone
remember
got
the
their
first time I
stars.
saw it, I remember I was going, "What the fuck?" Like, it's alarming to see a cat do that. But it was blue. It didn't seem to affect him. I don't.
Hey, he
Methylene
lived for
blue.
years after
God,
that.
he lived forever. He was like 24 pounds. Okay, so my updates is kind of the same as Chris's. He was here, visited, we went hunting, all that. We're gonna try again.
Rowan's best friend in the entire world is your daughter.
Oh yeah, that was
Aw.
Rowan got immediately attached to Evelyn. It kept saying,
Yeah,
"Where's my best friend? Where's my best
No,
friend?"
best friend. His
Best-
other cousin Marissa's his best friend. So this is his best friend.
But it was cute. It was fun. We decorate for Christmas early. The kids are home from snow days and driving each other nuts to the point that I'm glad they're back at school this week. Me and Alicia have to get up to the cabin. I have an ongoing battle with a flying squirrel that keeps getting in and eating up all our insulation. But so on brand update is Mary did the Lifelines Monroe, which spoiler alert, Nate's going to tell us about. And so, as trying to participate in the challenge where Nate went to Monroe and Mary did Lifelines and stuff, I have that.
So we talked about this last episode. Lifelines is the Monroe class that helps you learn to talk to the dead.
Yeah, to hear them or communicate or just to experience something.
Class.
So the app that Nate had encouraged that's Monroe based, but I guess there's two of them now. One's Monroe, one's Monroe's family. Anyway, that had a medium program on it. And so I was listening to some of those as like a meditation thing. And after a night shift, I'll essentially put it on and maybe I meditate, maybe I fall asleep. I don't know. It's a win-win for me. But I'd started looking for new ones, and there's this one guy. Another thing to backtrack, Telepathy Tape Season 2 is out, so I've been listening to that.
Good.
It's really good. It's
yeah,
really good.
they have a lot of cool topics, and if you haven't listened to it, go back and listen to Season 1 that talks
Skip
about...
all the other stuff.
No,
and then just-
we're
The other
just going
stuff is
season 2. It's fun. Season 1 is good. Season 2 I like because it's like Star Trek. You have a
episodal.
different one. It's not a continuing
Right.
story.
Season 2 is cool because it's different topics. Each episode's a new topic, but the lady tries to do the science-based research towards these, what's considered like these woo topics. Like,
She does it so we don't have to.
right, mediumship and like energy healing or animal.
We walk so telepathy tapes can run.
Right.
We
Here's
don't
why I bring up the first
compare
season though,
ourselves.
because I was like, because the first season is about nonverbal autistic people that have the ability to exchange information at a place called the Hill, which can only be accessed through your consciousness. And there are these
like astral projection.
like astral projection, but these kids live in different states, and one of them from like, you're just a mom of an autistic child and he comes up and they do spelling, or some of them can talk a little bit, but says there's somebody, this is their name, this is their address, and then they look it up and yes, there's an autistic kid that lives in that name and that address 3 states over. How would they ever get that information except unless they're meeting up on a different plane?
And that person's parents also knew about the other kid. You know,
all
like,
these
it's
parents
crazy.
say these kids can read their minds too. Like they have to
Yeah.
like do like privacy with their kid. Like you can't read my mind right now. Like I need my rest or whatever. It is mind blowing. But I was like, because we did all these meditations and we talk about astral projection and stuff like that a lot. And then I was like, I'm going to get to the Hill. Why can't I go to the Hill? They're all hanging out there. But if you finish season 1, it's actually protected. And they said
they say it's guarded.
Yeah, it's guarded by whatever
You can
spirits or
access
energy or
it.
whatever.
They say you can access it if you're not one of the kids, but it's not easy.
Yeah, they have to be accepting of you to let you onto the Hill. And so I was like, I don't need to be on the Hill then. That's their place. I'm probably not considered a safe person. Why would I need to go there other than to snoop?
Yeah.
So which maybe that's one of the reasons. I gotta say I've never astral projected, but I've tried.
Sure have.
But decided that meditation is maybe more realistically beneficial than just constantly trying. But I was back on it. So here's the thing. I made a place. Because I did this meditation called the Sanctuary, and the whole meditation is you create your sanctuary. And then it has a second one called The Guardian, where you can try to like invite a guardian to like help you out or whatever. But I did the Sanctuary. I've been doing it like again and again, and it's like, just why does it have to be their place? You know what I mean? So here's my challenge to you two: if you are doing TM still or doing any sort of meditation, I'm not going to tell you anything about it. There's proof that I got there. Yeah, there's an open spot for both of you, and if you two describe any of it, I want to see if you do meditation and you're like, all right, I'm going to go to Tim's Sanctuary. If that's ever your intention,
What do you call it?
I don't know. This doesn't have a name. It doesn't need a name. Tim's Sanctuary, just the Sanctuary.
Timmy's time.
Carol's
Sanctuary. Send us coordinates. Figure out what the coordinates are and send it to us. Monroe, by the way.
Even if it's just a random number, we might need
wait. So I like RVing, like I need to assign it?
Yeah. So
hold on.
By the way, Monroe has the park. And that's where everybody beats up. If you're not at Monroe or whatever, in the recently dead or somebody just died or other Monroe people or whatever, they have this place called the park. And then that's also what Joe...
Do they have instructions on how to get to the park?
Yes, and so does, and that's where they're going to meet people. And then the other one is
when they do lifelines, they're going to the park.
Yeah, it's part of it. And then Tom Campbell, that's kind of Tom Campbell's thing. If you go to his site, he has this whole thing where you can meet up in the whatever.
All right,
go ahead.
I mean, we'll go to Tim's.
Yeah.
Tim's
right.
corner.
So mine's going to be like the RSS feed. Everybody's invited, but I'm specifically trying to do an intention-based, like you each have a ticket, right? You each have a spot.
I think you need some kind of beacon or something so we can find it.
Well, I'll try. Like it's
even if it's random.
I'll have to look up what a beacon is, but
because all those kids were able to find the hill because they are super skilled in a way. They've done this their whole life. You know, we need like a signpost.
Yeah, and I'm also terrible at meditating and don't really visualize much. So, but I could try to find it.
It's just out there. Can I just call it like a name?
Yeah, sure.
Can I just call it like Tim's Corner?
Whatever it is, you have to commit
whatever you want. You got to commit to it. All right, Tim's Corner.
Does it visually exist somewhere to you? Like, do you picture it above your house?
Yeah.
I'm trying to find it. So
no, because you're spoiling.
Don't look
right
for
now,
my house. This is on.
Yeah, like you're preloading everything with how you're talking with his house and all this stuff. So
yeah, it's not.
You have to be a bit more random.
It's not a place that exists in this plane.
Okay. But I'm just getting that's information that's helpful. Okay.
I will say the physics of it and everything, like as far as could it exist? Yeah. Like it's not like on rainbows in outer space or it's not on the moon.
I'll try to go there the next time I lose the dream.
Yeah. So Tim, look for Tim's Corner. You each have a spot it's yours. It would just be like hanging out. It's nothing crazy. It's not fantastical. It's just like
tell us more information about it.
Or
do you want information? I feel like that's the thing. I'm trying to see if you tell me something about
because you could I went there and it was
that's what I'm saying.
Land.
I don't want you saying that it wasn't like the gravity works with too much information. I don't know.
Okay, yeah.
We're talking too much.
Okay, so that's my challenge to y'all. If you find yourself looking, and I don't need to be there. I'll say that if it just exists as a corner of I'm trying to. Because our paranormal insurance has astral roadside assistance. Mm-hmm. We were going to do astral real estate too.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
I'm trying to it's like Bitcoin, but you don't get anything.
It doesn't have a monetary value
in this field realm.
Right.
Yeah,
but
you'll be a whatever we call that millionaire. When you cross over.
So I'll also say
it's a good religion right there.
This isn't like a secret.
You donate to the church now, but you get it back tenfold in the
in heaven.
If
any listeners are pro,
$10, you get $10. Tim's Corner box for every $1 donated to Tim's Corner.
If anybody
you want a bigger apartment, you name it.
If anybody listening is good at this stuff and wants to try to find Tim's Corner, it's an open invite. It's just and you can have 10 Astro bucks. they're sitting there. I'm going to put 10 Astro Bucks right on the corner for the first person to show up to get them.
So
you know
long
what?
as they have nothing but good intentions.
Make it 100 Astro Bucks. I'm just going to put it.
You better be careful, Tim. You're going to look at your bank account and be like, son of a bitch. What was the exchange rate? I'm out $1,000. Well,
there's some fine print, but it's just like dropping $100 Astral bill. It's fine. It's sitting there. You know what? Go get it. Go find it. Okay. All right. So it's Christmas, which means we usually bring a curse story.
Or we talk about curses.
Or talk about curses.
It started back in the day. The original Christmas special was because it is play on words with Christmas special, but also Nate called me asking me about the ethics of cursing somebody for the bell. And so we made a whole episode based around like that.
We've also done the monkey's paw, which technically is like being cursed from having your wishes come true or whatever.
But so this time we're just kind of talking about random. This is like the concept of curses. Is kind of part of our thing. But this year we wanted to update.
Yeah. Nate's curse is an update from Christmas 2.0. So take it away, Nate.
Sure. And it's not me. It's actually Mary. And maybe we could get her to call in and record the story because it's her story.
She didn't want to record though.
Yeah. Well, we'll see.
She's podcast shy.
She is. So Mary went to the Monroe Institute for Lifelines, and it talks about mediumship, and it's like this whole process of 3 days of just meditating and getting rid of like all of your hang-ups and anything you're working on, just kind of like just go in with an empty slate. And then usually you have a guest speaker or something, or somebody comes in. If you do the gateway, it's usually Joe McMoneagle or whoever, but in this time it was a medium, and she wasn't physically there. She was on a Zoom call, and I will find her name to add in because she's famous. Like she writes books and like does all this stuff, and similar to like the telepathy tapes on mediumship, like they have like a way they have a blind test to like prove it out or whatever. But so she seems the real deal. I'm not saying I'm not into medium stuff. I don't know. Maybe people would just pick up psychically, like they talked about on that episode of telepathy tapes. Maybe you could be psychically picking up from somebody else. You could be talking to a spirit. Somebody could be manifesting it. I don't know. I'm just gonna relay this story. So Mary's there, and there's like maybe 25 people in the room watching this stuff. And Mary really wanted to find out the murder mystery in her house. And if you go back and listen to the old one, Mary was putting wallpaper in her hallway downstairs at the front door. And she was like, somebody died here. I just know it. She actually, and we have an old house, right? But we really old. So, but she went to the sheriff's office and got the court records and found a death certificate for, I think it was Mary Christensen. And she was died in the house, and she was shot in the head. And it was typed homicide and then scratched out and handwritten suicide. And Mary just got obsessed, has been obsessed over this. She's done all this research on her. She's actually buried in Hollywood
our
Cemetery.
Second Christmas special, we do like an EVP session and like a spirit box situation.
All kinds of stuff.
This is something we've been
ongoing.
talking about for 5 years. Yeah.
So anyway, so she's really into this. She hasn't talked to anybody at the Monroe Institute about it, except for one person, her roommate, because you kind of have a roommate. You have your own areas and sleeping areas, but it's her roommate. She mentioned it to her, but no one knew who the guest star was going to be, including her roommate. And there's no like interview figuring stuff out. It's not like a hot read or whatever they call it for me.
Mary wasn't wearing a shirt.
This medium was zooming into a classroom of 25 people.
No one knew she was going to be there, and no one talked. There's no questionnaires have been answered. There's no information. And then she's just like a guest speaker. She's a guest speaker, and that was the
like Mary wasn't wearing a shirt that says like "I
yeah.
miss you, Pappy," and it's got a
Yeah.
picture of Pappy on it,
yeah.
which is
No one.
legitimately what people would do at some of those medium TV shows that used to come on. What was it from? Like From the Other Side or something? From Beyond.
Right. Yeah. Anyway, like in full disclosure, she had told her roommate that in passing, but that was it. They're the only people that have talked about it. So they're sitting there, and after an hour or so of the medium talking to everybody about how it works or whatever she's doing, she kept brushing something off her side, turning around like, no, or go away or whatever. And then she's like, hey, look, the spirit will not leave me alone. Is there somebody in the audience named Mary? And there's some question about a gunshot that you have. And Mary said her face just turned white and her mouth opened, and she raised her hand. And she's like, look, there's a woman here. She just wants you to know she actually wasn't, it wasn't a homicide. She was actually accidentally shot. It was suicide. She accidentally shot herself in the head. She regrets doing that, but she's okay with where she is now, and she enjoys watching over you, okay? And Mary's like, okay. And then she just kept going on. and everybody was like, looked over at her like, what the fuck? And Mary's like,
so awesome.
Speechless. And while we were filming the last podcast, Mary texted me, is like, you are going to poop your pants when I tell you what just happened. So she's like, shit, Mary's like all on board. She's like, holy cow, like this is just ridiculous.
So awesome. And just to recap, because it's that Mary's in a classroom listening to just a Zoom lecture, and like the whole question, the only reason why she's even there is to talk to Mary to find out if this was a homicide or suicide. And the speaker's just like, it's a fucking suicide. Like everything's cool.
Like immediately.
I mean, it's mind blowing.
It's crazy.
So it's so cool, and it's such a cool like connection, and also validation of the ghost stories. It's like, oh yeah, she's still around. She's cool with you guys being there.
By the way, Dawn said the exact same thing.
Yes, which I also like. Dawn, our psychic medium friend, originally, like we had access to this medium. Mary straight up asked her about Mary, and Dawn's like, oh well, she accidentally shot herself, it wasn't a homicide, even though the clear better narrative was that it's a cover-up.
It looks like it was his 50th birthday.
It's his birthday. He was a drunk. He was physically abusive to this woman.
the death certificate saying murder and with a line through it, and then said suicide.
Even the coroner was like, this dude.
No, who said it was a coroner? It was like, hey, can you feel this death? Like the husband was like, let me see that a second. Like,
it's 1950. I mean,
right?
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, or 1946, and then he had 4 DUIs. In the 40s, you got to try for that DUI.
Right, because drinking and driving wasn't even illegal, was it?
It was not even illegal. Like, I remember when they made it illegal in the 70s, they have those interviews, and they're like, not drinking a beer in the car after work is un-American.
Yeah, which I agree with, but it's also not very safe.
I'm just saying the 40s, whereas you're right. It's like a DUI in New Orleans.
I mean, to get your license in the 40s.
Drunk in public in New Orleans.
There was beer served at the DMV until like 1960.
So anyway, long story short, that was what her awesome experience was. And I have no rational explanation around it. So I
think it's incredible. I think it's just I'm super into it. So you get a Christmas update and conclusion. I mean, how rare is that? Awesome.
Yeah, I wonder how much this person is looking over us.
Well, hopefully not too much.
Like at all, like right now. Are you sure you're going to? Are you sure you're going to read those stupid jokes you have on your phone right now that you're looking up?
I was thinking more. It's like,
is that the third
like
hot
the ghost?
You're eating?
No. Like, it's 11:30 at night. Are you sure you want to be eating leftover fried chicken right now? Are you sure about that? You know you're going to get heartburn. Oh my God, he's doing it.
So I was looking for different ones, and I don't have personal curses. So well,
good.
I have been cursed recently. I just said I don't have personal curses, and I was like, "Oh, no, I was just cursed." No, we had a couch that was one shot by Alicia's father with rat shot.
Say, it actually might,
which I really liked that there was like rat shot marks on the couch. I bragged
So
about
just
it. I
to
thought it was
clarify
hilarious.
that one, so Tim's father-in-law used to own this couch and tried to shoot a
It was a
mouse
mouse
with a
in this inside the
38
house. Yeah.
inside the house, and it had scatter shot inside the 38, like rat, and so there was like shrapnel damage.
Yes.
Couch. It's a nice
Yes.
couch.
It was great. I thought it was on the foot of the couch, but then it wore a hole through it. I tried to sew the whole thing, and it was like a leather thing. Anyway, it was kind of ruined, and we kicked that can down the road for a while. But I don't know if anybody's noticed. Everything's expensive. Everything is awfully expensive. And so a great place to find less than expensive things is Facebook Marketplace. And Alicia's been casually browsing to replace our couches forever. And then she stumbled across the exact same couch. It was
Minus
same
the
color,
bolts.
same set, a little bit bigger. It hasn't been shot. It was from a clean house. It was an hour away. So, and it's the recliner couch too. So it weighs 4,000 or 5,000 pounds. So I drove out there by myself. It was $500.
How did you
$500.
get the couch on there by yourself?
I had help putting it on to the truck. And so I drove it home, and it looked like it was about to rain too. It was like, oh boy, oh boy. It didn't. I didn't even tie the thing down. I was like, the weight'll keep it back there. That's fine. It's fine, because I left the tailgate down too. So I backed my truck up all the way up to the door, and I had to get this couch into the house. Though Alicia helped supervise and put things under the floor so that I could do some sliding action. But I got
good. That was a heavy couch.
It was a heavy couch. So Chris showed up and he helped move it in and the old couch out. But either way, that got me thinking that stuff can be a curse. And then I was like, oh, well, what cursed furniture? Is that a thing? And yes, I found a couple of cursed furniture stories. So I'm just going to read these. So I'm not going to.
Yeah, let's go for it.
All right. The first one is the case.
Spooky music.
The case of the cursed Sardinian chair, also called the chair of death. All right, so there's a tiny village in Austin, Sardinia. There was once a woodcutter named Zavata, a man so notoriously unpleasant that even the priest refused to bless him when he died.
Nice.
Before his death, Zavata allegedly declared, quote, "Anyone who sits in my chair will follow me to the grave." And that probably would have sounded cooler in like the native language. So that's the English translation, whatever he said. But of course, he was like the grumpy old man. And so people laughed it off, and they thought it was the dying man equivalent of just him flipping the village
Get
off on
my
the way
grass.
out. Yeah.
Yeah, off my grass.
But then allegedly the chair started collecting bodies. So the documented incidents is apparently while the home was abandoned that the Sardinia whatever lived in, there's a thief that went in there, but then like people showed up and he had to hide, and so he hid inside the woodcutter's home. At some point sat in the chair, you know, of course, and then as he was fleeing from police that eventually caught up for him, he fell off a cliff and he died. Maybe it was the chair. All right, and then another one is a shepherd sat in the chair as a joke, and then died.
Holy hell, I'm gonna go out.
Yeah, hey, check out this dumb chair.
Death chair my ass.
I like to think that he wasn't showing off for people. He was showing off for his sheep. He was like, check it out, sheep, it's the chair. Let me go in here real quick. But anyway, he died from, quote, mysterious stomach unrest, which I'm pretty sure is another word for diarrhea.
So, it's not good, I'll tell you that much.
It's not a good way to die. If you die from stomach unrest, I feel like death. I can empathize with that guy. All right, and then so another one, a teenager dared his friend to sit in the chair. And then the kid later died in a freak farming accident that involved a mule and a cart. Don't know the specifics, but he either fell off or got trampled or something.
Death chair, do you know what happened to the death chair?
Well, I'm getting there. So the local miller, deciding to test it scientifically, sat in it, and declared, "See, nothing happens," and then the next day died of a heart attack.
That's pretty good.
So by the 20th century, the chair had a body count rivaling a mid-tier slasher movie. Locals refused to even touch it with gloves. Eventually, the mayor locked it away in a museum storeroom under orders that nobody sits in it, and allegedly...
Someone had to touch it to get to that museum.
Right, with gloves,
As a
though.
former
But
art handler, I'm sure it would have been me.
allegedly, to this day, the chair is still kept and stored away in a random Sardinian museum, and has been lost in the same way that, like, the Raiders of the Lost Ark has been... It's examined by top men. Okay, so that was that one. The next one...
Death chair. Gotcha. Wonder what it looked like. I hope it was, like, not... Like, it looked like cherry or something. You know, like, it's...
I don't know.
not as
I just
goth.
assumed
like
it
I'm
was...
picturing a goth thing, and it'd be better if it wasn't a
No,
goth
it's
thing.
probably, like, I bet it was, like, caned and had, like, the wicker butt part that was, like, busted or something. All right, and then...
I hate wicker.
Everybody does. The next one is Cursed Dybbuk Cabinet. All right.
Oh, I know this one.
Yeah, it's pretty... This one's a little more popular. So, the curse. In the 1920s, a woman in Poland died and left behind a small wine cabinet, and her family claimed she was a Dybbuk host, which is a human who had trapped a restless, malicious spirit inside herself to keep it from harming others.
Yeah,
So-
it's like, I think it comes out of like it's kind of like a Jewish gin.
It's not...
Is what I've heard.
It's not Sardinian, is it? Because then I accidentally
No.
had two of those.
It's not Sardinian. You're dodged a bullet this time.
All right. So, when she died, the spirit was believed to have latched onto the cabinet. So, decades later, the cabinet resurfaced in the U.S., and everyone who owned it reported shadow figures, nightmares of an old woman with ruined eyes, spontaneous hair falling out, burning incense smells, which doesn't seem like a curse, actually, glass shattering, sudden illness, and in one case, a stroke within a week of coming into contact with it. And the owners kept trying to pass it off or hide it, but the curse kept following around this cabinet or whatever. So a museum curator who briefly stored it described the atmosphere as like the basement was watching me breathe. Which,
sick.
I mean, it was pretty good. So they tried to fix this, right? There's a group of rabbis that tried a standard Dybbuk eviction ritual, which usually involves prayer, symbolic burial items, and they seal the object ceremoniously or ritualistically or whatever. And it didn't work. And the disturbances after they had tried apparently intensified. And the cabinet was believed to be tied to multiple spirits, not just one, which is apparently why it was so hard to, like, seal it off or whatever. So the ones trying to seal it off escalated it, and this is where it gets a little funny. So according to the most credible accounts around this thing, which is published in the museum's own notes, the rabbis ultimately performed a ritual that they refused to talk about or write down how they did it or what exactly they did, except for the admission that they, quote, "We did not remove the Dybbuk, we fed it." So what they did, so they created a new vessel. It was a custom-built wooden container, hand-carved with sigils and binding symbols, not to trap the spirit, but to make it comfortable. And they sacrificed personal items like jewelry, hair, personal heirlooms that were all put inside this new thing. And it wasn't as an offering, like, to God to help them. It was an offering to the entity to, like, make the house more comfortable for it. So allegedly, they made a pact that this part was this is what they left intentionally vague. But the phrasing suggests that there was a binding agreement where they essentially promised the spirit stability if it promised not to lash out. So they sealed the cabinet inside this new containment, and then layers of boxes, each with prayer inscriptions and bearing the original cabinet inside, almost like a nesting doll with, like, protections in between each one. And then the researchers noted that, quote, "The ritual concluded, but none present believed the Dybbuk was gone."
Do you know where it is now?
It's in Madison, Wisconsin.
It's in.
Oh yeah.
It's
I
in
don't know
Las
where it is.
Vegas's haunted museum owned by Zach Baggins, who I do not like from Ghost Adventures.
Is it Baggins? Is his name seriously Baggins?
He says Bagans, but I'd say it wrong to piss him off because he annoys the living shit out of me. If you've ever watched
likes
Ghost Adventures,
bagels.
you just want to strangle him in every episode.
That actually, kind of, I lose credibility points because I didn't realize that the Ghost Hunter guy had covered this one.
He bought it.
Owns it. But whatever,
it's in
a cool
his
story.
Haunted Relics Museum. So he has a museum dedicated to haunted objects. So it's just famous.
It is.
I will say, full disclosure, the original person who sold it did admit that he made up some of the details, but everything you said was true, like with the rabbis and all that stuff. So it's kind of in between.
It's still, yeah.
I bet it's
It reminds me of what we do in the shadows, Laszlo's human skin hat that's cursed.
So good.
and Nadja hates the hat, like she hates it. He's always wearing it. He's like, it's cursed. I know it's cursed, but it looks so fashionable or whatever. It's
so good. That show is so funny.
I acquired this hat while draining the blood of a Bavarian Hexenbrenner, or witch burner. He must have noticed me eyeing it, because in his dying breath, he said, "Take my hat, it's cool." Yes, it is cool, I thought. Free hat, even better.
I mean, if you want, so recently, I should mention Annabelle. I left it off because everybody knows that.
No. It's tough. There's actually a lot of them out there, because I did the same thing. I was like, okay, let me do some research on what I'm going to do a curse tale on. And there's either too many or not enough. Like all the famous ones everyone knows about, and all the like off ones are like
there's not a lot of information on it.
Yeah, it's like thin. Like, so for me, I picked just local stuff, like stuff I could find near places I live. So I picked one from Maine and one from Brooklyn that I've kind of had some experience with. And then I have a third thing, which is how to get rid of curses, or the story of a guy who you can hire to get rid of curses. Is kind of interesting. So the first one I was going to talk about is from pull up my notes. The first one I was going to talk about is about Bucksport, Maine, which is a kind of a coastal town not too far. I mean, it's Maine, so everything's relatively close to where I spend my summers. But it's another witch's curse, which I like. I like a good witch's curse. And so going back to Revolutionary War kind of time periods, Colonel Buck was a judge and local leader of this town, Bucksport, Maine. Colonel Buck, the town is named after him. And so there's a couple different, where the curse legend comes from, there's a couple different like versions of it, but his tomb is still there. And there's evidence of the curse that remains on his tomb. So apparently there's a couple versions. The first is the witch's version, which is he sentenced a woman to death for witchcraft, and as she was being burned, she cursed him, saying that he would be tormented forever and that her foot would appear on his tombstone as a reminder of his injustice. The second was that this witch also had a son that was actually, in some versions, a disabled child, tried to save her. And the Judge Buck hit him as he tried to save his mom, and as she was burning, her leg fell off, and the kid grabbed the leg and ran into the forest with it. And she cursed him. The judge hit the kid who's trying to run to his burning mom, who then steals her leg and runs to the forest.
That's a quick thinking kid, by the way.
Well, yeah.
Yoink.
The other is that Buck actually had several illegitimate children. That's actually fact. And so one of the stories is that he fathered a child with a maid, and then when she started kind of demanding a certain amount of child support, she cursed him by saying, when you die, I'll mark your grave so that everyone will know what a terrible person. But anyway, the three different versions is that a foot will appear on his grave, and so there's a foot that appeared on his grave, which you can see. Looks like the shape of Italy just kind of appeared on this granite grave, and they cannot get rid of it. And it's been there since the beginning. They can scrub it off. It's not part of the stone. It's not but it is the shape of a foot. So they're kind of the stories that are the curse around this. Let me show you a picture of it real quick so you can see it. See?
I mean, that looks like a foot.
It's a foot appeared on this grave. Anyway, I'm just telling you local stuff. And then the other one, and I think my main story is how to get rid of the curses, is from Greenwood Cemetery. Because when I lived in Brooklyn and New York in general, I loved Greenwood Cemetery. I would hang out there. And I also do a lot of tours there because they offer a lot of tours, which is why if you ever find
you weren't giving impromptu tours?
I could now. So if you ever want to hang out in Greenwood Cemetery, I'll show you where some of the cool stuff is. Like where
was
the
that
bush
not
is.
The name of the cemetery that we
inside
grew up
of.
next to?
It is also the name of the cemetery we grew up with.
Have we talked about that yet? That your favorite cemetery in New York to hang out with had the same name as the cemetery
It's
that
the one
we
that
lived
I would
0.1 miles away from,
and like a mile away from our house.
It wasn't a mile.
2 blocks.
It was
Less than 2 blocks from our house.
That's where we all learned to drive, right?
Yes, that's Mom took us to drive in the cemetery.
So we couldn't kill anybody.
That's also where our grandparents are.
Yes, that's where our big grandparents are buried.
I've been to Granddad's,
It took several dates to
times.
Cemetery before I realized that was creepy. It's before the internet, so I didn't think it was creepy. But
that was before the word edgelord was a thing that Chris
or even
created.
Goth was still new. I was like, you want to go
it was not. The Crow had been around.
What's his name? Trent Reznor was already 45.
Yeah.
It's true, but we didn't know who he was.
Goth was around. Edgelord wasn't. There was because it wasn't 2 years after that Grandma's Boy, the movie, came out with that guy.
It's true. Okay, so anyway, I want to tell a story of one of the people that's buried there that I thought
in New York.
In the New York
cemetery,
not the one by our house.
Not our grandfather.
It was this guy named Washington Irving Bishop, who's also known as Wellington for some interesting reason. But he was an American stage mentalist. So he actually started. He would do weird magic tricks in a way, like blindfold driving, and he developed a way of I can read people's minds blindfolded, and a lot of it he said it's not supernatural. I'm just a gifted mentalist, so I'm picking up on subtle variations of your muscles, and I know how you're lying or not lying. Anyway, he got really interested, and he was actually spent a lot of time disproving psychics and the paranormal. That was part of he enjoyed, right? However, he actually had a book published called Second Sight Explained.
So is he like a Scully that does the Mulder tricks?
Yeah, and it's kind of like Houdini did the same thing, where he was a magician, but spent a lot of times unmasking fraudulent hucksters who were pretending to be spirit mediums and taking advantage of people. So it's kind of like you work kind of both angles. I'm an illusionist, but I'm also showing you that the paranormal is fake. Although Houdini believed in some stuff too, and said he would come back and send the message. But blah 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 blah. Anyway, what's interesting about him is he was doing a performance, and he would do this performance where he would do thought readings and different kind of mentalist tricks, and he had a small fit and kind of blacked out and was pronounced dead, and the autopsy indicated that he died of autopsy because
he
was not dead.
Oh no,
he was in a trance, and they declared him dead, and his mother, I think, tried to sue. He's buried in Brooklyn, and on his grave it just says "the Martyr" is all it says. His mom lost it because he died when he was 30, right? It's carved on because she believed he was murdered by the autopsies. I will say, and makes it even crazier, is the people who did the autopsy had approached him asking that when he did die, if they could do an autopsy on him, because they wanted to understand how his psychic brain worked. So, and what's even crazier is he did sometimes go in these trances where he had appeared dead, and he had a card on him that says, "If you are about to give me an autopsy, wait 24 hours. I am most likely not dead." And for some reason, the card wasn't on him anymore. So I'm kind of with his mom on this, but I thought that was kind of a type of curse. And I saw his grave. I used to, I would take my like weird, like occult symbology tours of Brooklyn cemeteries and stuff. But I wanted to finish up the episode talking about, okay, so you're cursed. What do you do? And I came across a really amazing article, and it's not that crazy because we're going to kind of take a trip over to Taiwan, where there's a feng shui master named Zhang Bolei, right? And so feng shui, we all know about feng shui, like, oh, you don't want your bed to face a mirror, like how to arrange your room, and so it actually can get quite elaborate, the feng shui, and it can include after death. So let's say you feel like you're cursed, and so you would hire a feng shui master to come in and make sure you're not like, well, your feet are facing west and they should be facing east time, get your stuff in order. But if all of your stuff is in order, they're like, oh, well, it's your ancestors are the problem, and we need to fix them by digging up their bones and cleaning them and then putting them and arranging their bones in a feng shui sort of way, which is actually fairly common in like Taoist culture, right? So I found this guy, he's like, I'm very good. I'm the best feng shui master in all of Taiwan. Good luck getting like...
You need grandma digged up? 2 hours. Yeah. Give me 2 hours.
I found this really fascinating, and so I read.
I bet he uses simple green.
No, well, he uses a toothbrush, but you don't want to use any moisture. So this is what he does to restore your family's luck, which involves exhuming your body, your ancestors, cleaning their bones, and then placing them in a pot bound a certain way. So it's like an urn, but it's a big urn because it's like the full skeleton. So depending on where they're buried, you have to wait 5 to 8 years. Then you dig them up, and this is actually fairly common. You would dig them up and you let them dry out. Let me see what its actual process. He opens the tomb, and if the body is properly decomposed, usually after 5 to 8 years, he'll start gently cleaning the bones with brushes. No water. The bones must dry in sunlight, but not too much sunlight. So he puts them in at dusk. And then they get wrapped in a red cloth. And then he reassembles the skeleton and then places the skeleton in the urn, but like specifically, like the legs can't cross, like it has to be facing a certain direction. And then the skull goes on top. And, then he puts charcoal in the urn too to kind of keep moisture from getting in there. But ye can confirm your curse because he'll dig up your ancestors' bones and it will have not fully decomposed. So if there's still flesh or there's like a lot of stuff he can do to fix it. So he'll put like banana peels and cabbage and stuff and like a special amulet and let them and then wait another year and then come back in and like clean it.
Tough job.
It's I think he's doing okay. I think he's quite wealthy.
He's busy.
Yeah, he's pretty busy. And so it's all about, for him, balancing the relationship between the living and the dead. And when something goes wrong in the family, bad fortune, chronic illness, mental distress, he sees this as a sign that someone in the astral realm is uncomfortable or forgotten. Fix the bones, fix the family.
What's this guy's name?
This guy's name is Zhang Bolei. He's a feng shui master. There's an Atlas Obscura article about it I can send you. It's pretty cool.
That's cool.
Anyway, I thought that was kind of cool. So if you're feeling down on your luck,
dig up grandma and clean your bones.
Dig up your grandparents and to use your toothbrush to dry brush everything off.
I was hanging out with mom the other day because she was watching the kids. I'd drop them off. I'd take a toothbrush and I'd just start rubbing them against her shoulder just to like preemptively get rid of like curses. When you come in for Christmas, you should bring a brush. You got to brush mom a little bit.
I always bring my ancestor brush when I come to Rome.
Hey, I have a one last curse thing, and it bleeds into jokes.
Yeah, Tim has a joke that's also a curse.
Yeah. So this will be good. Mine's going to be quick and not incredibly
Mine won't
funny.
be quick. It will not be pleasant. It will be
It's a
painful.
curse. So Tim will end on a curse.
That's what we're ending on. Is I'm cursing every listener
Tim's
with this
curse
joke.
will make Nate's joke a blessing.
Yeah.
So,
Yes. Hey, Chris, how do you call that Welsh thing? Mary
Lewyd. Mary Lewyd.
Marilwyd. The drunk singing ghost horse who blesses homes or curses them.
I feel like people know who Mary Lard is nowadays.
It looks really cool.
I think like pagan cultures kind of come back.
Yeah, but go ahead, Nate. Talk about it.
One sentence explanation. A skeleton horse's head is carried by revelers, goes house to house at Christmas, battling families with rhyming insults. If the horse wins, it enters the home and curses the household. However, the twist is the curse is actually a blessing. And the terrifying ghost horse inside brings good fortune, full cupboards, and plentiful ale for the coming year. So,
well, remember, if it's cold, she's cold. Let her in.
Yeah. So the curse of having like a full cupboards of plentiful air and good fortune is good. So, unfortunately for you guys, I have some rhyming insults.
Good.
And unfortunately for Chris, they're way more funny for a nonprofit art school insults. So Tim out of ChatGPT helped me come up with some insults for the PA in a cardiac ward that works night shifts at a hospital. So yeah. So Tim, you say you can sense when a heart's going stray, but your alarm goes off 10 times a day.
Sure does.
Yeah. You say you bring calm when hearts race or flutter, that panic yourself when you spill warm butter.
I was thinking atrial flutter.
Yeah, see,
they could have done better. Yeah, that's fine.
Hey, well, this was 5 minutes before the show. Chris, here's Tim the horse didn't go into Chris Tim's house. So Chris, you run the AV with passion and pride, but trip over cables you just tried to hide. Your projector is ancient, dim as a ghost. It works once a month, and that's when you boast. Your budget is nothing. Your tools barely cope, so you fix half your problems with duct tape and hope.
That's awesome.
All right, Nate. Hey, I got. Nate.
I'd let her in.
Wait, no. Hey, I got a rebuttal.
Come back. You're coming. You're coming back.
I got a rebuttal for you for somebody that works at a data center. Some rhyming insults, but it listed it as a rap. So
I love it.
Let's just see what happens. You run a data center, but you can't center your data. Maybe label your cables now rather than later. Your server stacks are neat, but your skills can't compete. You're the only tech I know who can trip over a spreadsheet. Call you Mr. Uptime, but only sometimes your racks go down more often than your punchlines. You boast about backups like you're some innovator. Bro, your RAID is lazier than an idle load balancer. You talk big about cooling and airflow dynamics, you get one power spike and you descend into panic. You say you're king of fiber and switches. Funny, because every patch panel you touch ends up in glitches. I would have rhymed with stitches or bitches, but you didn't. You manage petabytes, sure, that's a fact, but half of them leave when your scripts overreact. You flex about network like you're some grand inventor. Calm down, dude, you just babysit a data center. Claiming you're the master of routing and clusters, yet your troubleshooting skills are powered by blunders. That didn't even rhyme.
That's pretty good. Things I'm picturing Mary Lewyd like making the rap, like epic rap battles, but with Mary Lewyd.
Okay, so to wrap up, to close, one, Merry Christmas. Just promos. We're doing a Neatcast rant. We're recording it this weekend. It may come out before this episode does. So if it does, go check out the Neatcast. They do 12 rants of Christmas, where they have about 9 guests, and then the 3 of them each do a rant. They're 30 to 45-minute episodes. They're always hilarious. Go check them out. But one thing I think we should do for the new year is more guests coming up, because we have some cool friends that do podcasts that I think would be cool. So like You Didn't Ask for This guys, Corey from The World Is My Burrito. We can have the Kneecast guys back over to our show instead of just always dropping in on theirs, and or just like people that may have, like, you know, jived with some of the stuff we're talking about, like the Fagans, or
Sure.
anybody that has been inspired, or even Rat Funk that listens and emails and participates in our Discord. He's always a super nice guy. So we'll reach out. We'll have some new voices in the coming year, and go listen to our friends. That being said, I am a solo traveler walking into a bar that happens to have 2 barkeeps for some reason. Oh, it's funny that all of these tables seem backwards. They seem that the tables have turned here this episode.
Hold on, let me cue the fantasy tavern music.
So I'm a cloaked, mysterious ranger walking in, and I look cooler than everybody else just by like cool sword and cool cloak. And then just to, I know the rules. I know the rules of the local.
Give me ye joke, and I shall give you a ranch drink.
You do not exchange for gold. I want that alcoholic ranch flavored drink, and I must give you a joke to earn it. And here's the joke I have that is a curse. It is a pox on every listener that's about to close out this episode with this joke. Buckle the fuck up. Here we go. It's my new favorite joke. All right, a horse is watching TV one night, and he turns it to MTV. He sees this pretty good music video of a rock band. This happened a long time ago, and he suddenly feels inspired. The song is sick, with a great beat, and the horse just can't get it out of his head. It consumes his every waking moment, and he decides that he's going to become a musician. So the horse calls up the local music store to inquire about guitar prices. They have some stuff well within his budget, and even offer lessons. The horse is concerned and admits to the guy at the store that he is in fact a horse, which might be an impediment to learning how to play the guitar. The guy at the store happily explains that it shouldn't be an issue, and that they have an entire program just for teaching horses to play the guitar. So the horse buys his guitar, takes the lessons, and spends all of his free time practicing. Once he's happy with his progress, he calls his friend the cow. The cow comes over, and the horse starts off by showing him the original music video. The cow is pretty impressed with that, and even more impressed when the horse pulls out his own guitar and is able to replicate the sick riffs of the song. The cow asks the horse how he learned how to do that, and the horse is happy to explain. So the cow calls up the music store, the same one, and asks if they have any bass guitars for sale. They certainly do, and even offer lessons, and the cow's excited but concerned for the same reason the horse was. And so he explains to the guy that he's a cow. The guy at the store is unconcerned and happily explains that it shouldn't be an issue. They have a whole program just for teaching cows how to play the bass. So the cow gets his bass and starts practicing. He takes his lessons at the store, and once he reaches a certain level of skill, he starts going over to the horse's house to practice together. The horse and the cow spend most evenings rocking out in the horse's garage and having the time of their lives, when one evening their friend the chicken walks by. The chicken's blown away by what the horse and the cow are able to do. They show the chicken the music video and excitedly explain their experiences at the music store. So the chicken calls up the same music store to ask about drum kits. The guy at the store is happy to sell an entire drum kit and offers free lessons if the chicken's willing to pay up front. The chicken is concerned and admits that he's a chicken, which might cause some problems. The guy at the store happily explains it shouldn't be an issue. They have a whole program just for teach chickens how to play the drums. So the chicken takes the lessons, buys the drums, and it isn't long before the horse, the cow, and the chicken are all playing in the horse's garage every evening after work. They perfect the song from the original music video and start experimenting with their other favorite songs. Some months go by, and they even start writing a few songs of their own. They get a gig at the local bowling alley, and another at a nearby bar. It's a modest success, confined to local places, but they start to gain a dedicated following. After a show one night, they're approached by a very professional-looking man in a suit. The man claims to be a manager and producer and says that he is interested in working with them. The horse, the cow, and the chicken spend some days talking and thinking it over, and they eventually come to the agreement that they want to move forward with the man. So they call the man up and begin the next phase of their success. They write more songs, they do some recording, and learn a little about the production side of things as they put together their first album. It is the right mix of derivative and original, and their manager is convinced that it's going to take them far. Just before the album's going to release, the manager tells them that he has set up this big show for them in Las Vegas. It'll be the thing that gets everyone's eyes on them and prime audiences ready for the album. Just as they're about to fly out, the horse gets a call. His mother's in the hospital. He needs to rush over there, but promises to catch the next available flight to Vegas. The hospital trip turns out to be a false alarm. The horse's mother is fine. So the horse calls up the hotel in Vegas so that he can coordinate another flight with the manager. That's when he learns about the plane crash. The horse's blood runs cold. The cow, the chicken, their manager, all perished in the crash. The guitars and drums and amps and all the other equipment were all destroyed as well. The horse is bereft. He wanders aimlessly through the next several months. His best friends in the whole world are dead. His ticket to success has vanished, and the thing that brought him so much joy holds no luster for him any longer. Music rings hollow in his ears, and nothing seems to be able to take the place of everything he has lost. The horse gives up. He decides he's just going to drink himself to death. So he walks into a bar, and the bartender says, "Why the long face?"
So bad.
It's the worst. It's the worst joke I've ever
So
heard.
bad.
That's my favorite joke. It's so good.